Brian Thompson in car number 17, the Mercedes, with a 50.12. Off position 2, car number 8 is Mark Trenouth in the Jaguar. From 3 is car number 14, Keith Carling in the Mazda RX-7. Position number 4, Bob Tyndall, car number 49, the Tirana. From 5, car number 11, Bill Attard in the Mazda RX-7. Rodney Crick in car 50 starts out of position number 6. From 7, 41, Chris Holmes in the BMW. And out of position number 8, car number 5, Graham Whincup in the Chevy Monza with a 52.34. A small but power-packed field for this heat of the Australian Motorsport Club Trans Am Challenge. The scrap, of course, that we'll be following is the one off the front line. There's Graham Whincup moving in the back of the grid. The Chevy Monza looking resplendent here today at Amaroo Park under, well, we had threatening skies and a lot of rain this morning. Fined up considerably this afternoon. Brian Thompson in the Mercedes, 50.12 in qualifying. And Mark Trenouth, who has a great win record here at Sydney's Amaroo Park circuit in the Colorbond Jaguar XJS, sharing the front line. Not too far off the start of this event. Keep an eye on Bob Tyndall, who of course went so well here this season in the Sports Sedan Series. We're about 10 seconds away from the start. The distance, of course, of this race will be over 5 laps. Flag is up, and off the line they go. Thompson in sheer wheel spin, trying to catch it up. However, it's Mark Trenouth who has scored right off the start line. Now it's the Mercedes with that huge amount of horsepower, trying to get up on the inside and cut the turn as they make it, coming down to the loop for the first time, but it will be Trenouth. Second spot being held down now by Brian Thompson, and Bob Tyndall, a good start, holds third.
Trenouth with the 12-cylinder Jaguar leads the field through the right-hander at Dunlop for the first time. Treacherous conditions, plenty of mud on the circuit from the previous race, and a semi-dry line in a couple of spots, but very hard to control a car like Brian Thompson's with something in the order of 850 horsepower at his disposal.
Will not be easy for Thompson to get past a car like the V12 Jag of Mark Trenouth either on this circuit, and they've pulled away to lead now by about 130 metres over Brian Thompson, or Thompson catching up under brakes in the late corner, and the rest of the field stacked up behind him in third place.
I noticed Keith Carling didn't appear on the grid as Crick gets out of shape coming up the very short straight. Tyndall, car 49, the Elk area conditioning Tirana in third position with a fair margin now to Thompson in second place, and now has a look on the outside. This will be a brave move if he can make this one work.
Now looking down to the inside, just a little room there. Well, there's more now. So Brian Thompson in the Mercedes gets the inside run, and a little part of the dry racetrack there as they skirt out of that turn, work their way down to Mazda corner now. He's going to be hard to peg back from there.
It's a real shame Chris Clearahan isn't out there in the V8 Alpha. Unfortunately, he took the car to Western Australia a couple of weeks back and crashed the vehicle. They were unable to repair it and get it back to Amaroo Park in time for this invitation for Trans Am and Sports Sedans, Trans Am cars and Sports Sedans. But look at Thompson in this Benz. I wouldn't have thought he could make that much gap in such a short distance.
Did you get an invite for this?
I did get an invite, but I didn't get a car.
Oh,
That's
I see.
a problem.
They work the short straight now, coming back on the completion of their second lap, and Thompson will probably open it up this time, heading up Pitcher Payfield, and he does just that. Trenouth runs in second spot. Bob Tyndall is third. Then a fair gap back to Rodney Crick, son of the former Speedway sedan driver Peter Crick, dropping into fourth spot. But at this stage, it's a case of Thompson by how far. And the sun finally starting to shine above Amaroo Park Raceway.
See Graham Whincup bringing up the rear of the field in his Chevy Monza, uncharacteristically off the pace completely for this meeting. But the competition up front's pretty hot, I've got to say that.
One of the problems that Graham will be having is getting enough time on the circuit to set a car like that up for this place, because it's very difficult in big cars with a lot of horsepower. And if you don't do plenty of testing at Amaroo Park, you tend to be back in the field. And I'd suggest that that's part of the problem he's got at the moment. All of these guys in the top 3 or 4 positions at the moment have done plenty of laps around Amaroo. The cars are well sorted. Thompson opting to run the Benz today. Next weekend he'll run the booming big Chev Monza at Calder Park. So he wanted to put the miles on the Benz this weekend and save the Monza for next weekend on the Tri-Oval.
Conditions might have been crook early in the day and not too good, in fact, for the start of this race, but prospects are a little better as far as the weather is concerned for the rest of the afternoon here at Amaroo Park. Sun coming out for the first time today, and the track's starting to dry out, which augurs well for the races to follow. The following is being done by all bar Brian Thompson, still highballing in front from Mark Trenouth. And Burley Bob Tyndall doing pretty good to just stay in touch with the leading pair at the moment. Tyndall, of course, winner of the Toledo Tour Sports Sedan Series conducted here at Amaroo Park this season. It wound up last meeting here with Bob the big winner.
The only real scrap on the course at the moment, Wilco, is back in 4th position with Crick and Adhart having a real go. It's the Tirana and the Mazda. Look at these gaps between 1st, then 2nd, 3rd. Tyndall starting to get just a little closer now to the Jag, and then this battle for 4th, the back of the pack, Crick and Adhart. I thought the Mazda might have been a little better suited to these conditions, much lighter than the other cars, and with a power band much more gentle than the V8 Tirana, for example.
Through Dunlop Loop for the final time, Bob Tyndall. Still holding down 3rd spot as they go through Mazda corner now. However, the race leader, Brian Thompson in the Mercedes, already booming out of Honda corner and on the run down to the Lake right-hander for the final time. And I tell you what, he's opened up to almost 250 metres, so he's going to win this very, very convincingly over the 5-lap distance. Final corner coming up, and Brian Thompson from Shepparton guns the big Mercedes out of the last corner and across the line, and he'll taste victory in the first heat of the Gerni series this afternoon. That race over 5 laps. Still waiting for 2nd to come in. There's Mark Trenouth, and Bob Tyndall comes across the line to pick up 3rd place. Certainly no doubt about that from the time that Brian Thompson was able to find a little inside edge on Mark Trenouth, dropping into the loop, I think, for the 2nd time. Stalked Trenouth for 1 and a little laps, and then gunned down on the inside. And once in front, he opened that up from probably 20 metres to 250 metres. So
how far would he have won by if he'd have been able to get traction down at the start of the race when they dropped the flag?
What's
They're the placings. Brian Thompson.
It's Brian Thompson and the Mercedes looking set for a double at least as he swings down now to the right-hander at Honda corner. And Keith Carling, a good start this time. He's displaced Mark Trenouth. As they swing out of there, Graham Whincup also tailing the field, but down to the late corner, Thompson's in front yet again.
Carling not running in the first heat to open our telecast, but out in this one, and the Mazda is going to be very comfortable in these conditions and really harrying the bigger cars. Mark Trenouth got a very good jump off the starting line, but then appeared to fall in a hole, perhaps missing a gear or just getting out in the wet stuff. Look at the Jag monstering in the back of the Mazda as they go to the top of the hill.
Thompson through, followed by Keith Carling. Mark Trenouth will have a lot of work to do. His only real chance at passing the Mazda is probably up Bitchapave Hill. Carling covered these tracks rather well the last time they went up the rise to the top of Nissan Skyline. And once again puts the pressure on the inside. Bang, a tap on the side. Carling hangs onto it though. And Trenouth will have to do this down the outside, try and peg in to the right-hander.
Does it well.
A subtle difference of about 500 horsepower there. This is the last run for Keith's Mazda with its conventional, if you can call it that, 13B peripheral port Mazda engine. The next time that you'll see this car, which I guess will probably be next year, in fact, you'll have a turbocharged 13B peripheral port Mazda engine in there. And as I understand it, the sports sedan regulations do change a little next year, probably favouring the Mazda a little more. These box flares are gone. Back to a more conventional silhouette and a smaller front and rear wing for these cars.
There's Bob Tyndall. Mr. Consistency, running 4th on the track at the moment. There's Brian Thompson. Opens the gap over Mark Trenouth, Keith Carling and Bob Tyndall.
Tyndall seemed to miss the jump in the Alcare Tirana, but he's making up plenty of ground now, bridging the gap on Keith Carling in 3rd spot, but the top 2 have got plenty of muscle on the rest of the field.
Bob's had a great year. Started off in New Zealand very strongly and then nailed the series here at Amaroo Park. He's in the process of trying to nail Keith Carling at the moment. Old rivals on the track. Both recently returned from a trip to Western Australia.
Down to Mazda corner. Tyndall closes up a little more at Honda corner, and they work the short straight down to the lake turn. Still Brian Thompson, according to our 7 race score service. It was clear. Here's the gap. Mark Trenouth running in second. Then Keith Carling and Bob Tyndall hard at it. Tyndall will get the inside run and take the lead heading up the hill. Oh, Carling leans on him coming over the hill, takes back that spot. Pretty spirited stuff.
Certainly is, and Keith Carling's giving way to nobody.
The last time we saw them in New South Wales, a red flag shortened the race. We didn't get to determine who was the top man of the sports sedans on that occasion, and these guys, as I mentioned before, are always hard at it. The car's very even in their performance and vastly different in their construction. They're about 6 odd seconds behind race leader at the moment, Brian Thompson. Information provided by Seven's computer race score system.
Coming up to half distance. 5 completed, 5 to run.
Brian Thompson in the Mercedes with a comfortable lead.
Remember I was saying before about the rules changing, Gary, that's his last run in this car today. Next weekend he'll be running the Chev Monza.
Will you drive this one to the office, will he?
Be nice, wouldn't it, with that 850 horse, 8 o'clock on the way to work.
Tullamarine Freeway, it's been known to happen there before.
They come out of Honda corner, work their way down to the lake. Brian Thompson in front. And as the boys have mentioned, the next touring car endurance race will be at Melbourne's Eula Calder Park a week from today. It's not a live telecast. There are all those folk down at Melbourne watching VHS-C, Channel 7 this afternoon. Keep it in mind. Calder Park next Sunday with the Nissan team taking on BMW and all of the heavy movers in the second round of the, not a series as such, the second round of the season actually for endurance races, now that the Shell Ultra Touring Car Sprint Championship is over. 300 k's the distance of the big event there next weekend. Then the week after that, Surfers Paradise International Raceway has the next leg of the touring car endurance build-up to the Castrol 500, which 7, of course, will telecast exclusively around Australia from Sandown International Motor Raceway, second week of September.
3 laps to go here. And
Crick being chased by Bill Attard in the Mazda RX-7.
that's the dice for 5th and 6th on the racetrack. The leading pair well away, Thompson and Trenouth, of course. Then we've got Carling and Tyndall battling it out for 3rd and 4th, followed by Crick and Attard. So some good battles going on back in the field here.
It's a 15-second gap from the leader back to this man. That white car of Crick's is absolutely identical to that of Bob Tyndall's. And it was his first time out at Oran Park a few weeks back. There's race leader Brian Thompson, car 17. And Chris Hones in trouble, car 41, the BMW. At Tirana, looking fairly mild and meek, although with the nice big flares and big wings, but with a 6-litre Chev. These cars really do have enormous horsepower. The lap record in this class is held by Clearahan. He did it at the last meeting. He was a stunning time, 49.68, breaking the old magic 50-second barrier. And it's probably a time that'll stand for a while, Wilco, now that the conditions in this class are changing a little bit.
It's a shame that Clearahan's not here today for this one.
And about 6 others. Heading down to the lake corner, Brian Thompson.
Brian's best time so far about a 51.7, so he is cruising at the moment. The track conditions are a little off the money though. There's some mud on the circuit in a few places as the last lap board comes out. 1.93 kilometres to run for Brian Thompson. About 50 seconds of joy left for him in the bends.
Having a big Bernie for the Gerni this afternoon, Brian Thompson. Over the top of Bitchapave Hill and down into Dunlop Loop. I think when they built the car, they never really had Amaroo Park in mind.
They didn't have too many circuits in Australia in mind, I don't think.
But he handles it well.
Brad Jones has driven the car, and when you discuss the subject with him, he just goes white and starts to tremble. It's a great little car.
Brian Thompson has opened the gap to probably 250 metres again over Mark Trenouth out of the late corner. There's Trenouth just entering that corner now, up to Toledo Till's turn for the final time. And across the line, Brian Thompson will pick up victory this afternoon in the Gerni Trans Am Sports Sedan Series. Mark Trenouth of Queensland picks up second in the Colour Bond entry, and third place. Right on the line will, in fact, I think, go to Bob Tyndall. Let's recap those for you on the Oils Ain't Oils scoreboard. Race winner is Brian Thompson in the Mercedes. Mark Trenouth in the Jag is second. And Keith Carling, well, maybe he picked up third.